Hey adventurers, so today I know it's quite a bit late by the time you're seeing this into the quarter, but today I'm going to be doing my quarter 3 MBR or TBR if you want to call it that. Basically, these are the books that I have ideas to read in the third quarter of the year. And so, yeah, let's take a look at this. First one to mention is Tribe of the Accord. I just need to finish this one up by in this quarter. I have it more over halfway done at the beginning of the quarter, and so I just need to finish it up. And actually, at the time of filming, I already have finished this, so we're good on this one. So that's my holdover. That's the books that I started or that I started last quarter. Well, technically, I started it in quarter one and was reading it all through quarter one and quarter two, and then just finished it up in quarter three. But that's a holdover. And then I decided to kind of reset everything in my TBR rather than just keep going based on what I was looking at last quarter and just taking those with me into the next quarter. And just instead, I'm planning just to reset, take a look at the books that I want to read at the moment, and plan to try to prioritize those books. All right. So one of them is Peter Pan. I want to do a reread of Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. And the reason, so I read this one once already in quarter one, I believe it was, early in the year, one of my first books that I read in the year. And I wanted to do a reread so I can get it a little bit more firmly in my mind, especially the character of Captain Hook, because I am potentially going to, I'm going to audition for a Peter Pan play, and I'm hoping to, obviously, if I'm auditioning, I'm hoping to get to play in that play. And so I am wanting to solidify the characters that I would be trying out for a little bit more in my mind, so that I can just have some, kind of know what to go for when I'm acting and when I'm auditioning for these characters. So anyways, I wanted to do a reread of Peter Pan just so that I had that a little bit more solid in my mind. Also, I wanted to do Last Sword of Power, which is the second book in the Stones of Power duology by David Gemmell. The first one is Ghost King by David Gemmell, is book one of the duology. And so I read the first one with Liam from Liam's Lyceum, and we're hoping to read the sequel relatively quickly after the first book so that we're not going months or years in between. It will be months, but it won't be too terribly long. And so I'm planning to get to, or hoping to get to, Last Sword of Power in this quarter, in this quarter as well. We'll see. Hopefully July or early August when we will get to that. Fall of Arthur. This is one, obviously, this is a J.R. Tolkien book, edited by Christopher Tolkien, but one of the things that I've been wanting to do for many, many years is continue my reading through of Tolkien's works. And this is Tolkien's take on the Fall of Arthur, as it's titled. I believe he completely wrote this, other than that it was edited by Christopher Tolkien. But anyways, I wanted to read it because I want to continue reading through Tolkien's works, and part of the reason why I want this is because I eventually want to do another most read authors video on this channel, for the channel. And if I don't keep reading Tolkien, he's going to fall off that list. Not because he's not my most read author, but just because the books that I read from him, I reread The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings regularly, but I don't continue reading his other works. And so I want to keep finishing some of his other works and keep him on that list. And one of the ways that I can do that is by reading more of his books. Obviously, that's the only way to do it. And so I need to read some more of his works, and I have more of his works. I have a lot of them. This is one that I have been really loving exploring Arthurian literature recently, and this is one that I'm super excited to get into and read, and I haven't yet, and I've had it for long enough now that it definitely needs to happen. Plus, with Arthuriana being a major focus of the channel and of my reading at the moment, seems like a perfect time to do it. Finishing up my reread of the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. So this just Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Again, I'll be listening to this on audiobook. I've done the rest of the series on audiobook so far, and it's been a very good experience on audiobook. Been very much enjoying them. I don't love Jim Dale as the narrator of these books, but he does a decent job, and he's gotten better as the series has progressed. Just in those first two or three, it was really annoying, especially for Hermione. But he's gotten better, and I've gotten more used to him as I go, and that's what my library has on audio, and so those are the ones that I'm going to listen to. But yeah, I am excited to finish this one up. I've been really, really enjoying going through them again, And yeah, I'm just excited because I've only read them once, the series once, other than, well, I've read the first book 3 times now and the rest of the series 2 times, and this one is the only one that I haven't ever reread, and so I need to reread it, and I'm excited to do that. That way I also finish up that reread, which will be good. Then I have Rada by Tracy M. Joyce. This is one that the author sent me, and I've been needing to get to it since they sent it to me, and I feel bad about not having read it yet, and so I need to actually get to it and read it. I've talked about this in my previous, I believe, quarterly TBRs. Yep, I had them on both quarter 1 and quarter 2, and even though I did a reset with my TBR, I still want to get to this one, and so I'm kind of trying to prioritize it a little bit. It will be, yes, prioritized, but I've got a couple other ones that I'm specifically more excited to get to because I know the authors and I want to get to I would like to do author interviews with them if at all possible. So I'm gonna kind of, yes, it is priority, but it's also just a little bit lower priority due to those things. Then I have A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. This is one that I've been needing to reread for a very, very long time. When I read it in high school, I didn't enjoy it, and so I need to reread it. I think that I can enjoy it a lot more now as an adult, and having read a lot more literature, having read a lot more, and I think I can actually enjoy this a lot more, or at least respect it and understand what it's doing a little bit better than I did with that first read. And so I do want to get to this one, and I need to get to this one, and it's also a classic, so I'll go through my breakdown of that in a second here. Then I have The Pioneers Leather Stockings 4. So this is the fourth book in this Leather Stocking Tales by James Fenimore Cooper. So the first book is Deerslayer, the second book is Last of the Mohicans, third book is Pathfinder or The Inland Sea. All three of which I've greatly enjoyed, and so I'm excited to continue the series. One of my goals for this year, I don't know, I don't remember if I actually put this as my goals when I made my goals video at the beginning of the year, but one of my goals is to continue series and make progress in some series, and I've done a little bit. I've actually been making some good progress. I finished up Wheel of Time. I'm continuing some of my other series, and so I'm glad to be doing that, but I want to continue doing that, and so Leather Stocking 4 is a great option for that as well. The next one I have is Evasion by Alastair Reynolds. Is one that it's a sci-fi that I have put on hold, and it's, however, a long time out, I think is what it says on the estimated time on my library on Libby. And so it's going to be a while before I get to that. I'm hoping that it'll be this quarter. It was supposed to be last quarter, and it was a long time, or a long time or something like that then still. And so several months or something. And so now I'm moving it into this quarter in hopes of reading it this quarter. I don't know that it'll happen, but I hope so, and I want it to. Then I have More Than Legends by J.R. Carroll. This is it's a More Than Human novel. It's actually a short story collection, and I am excited for this one because it's J.R. Carroll, and I've loved his other books in the series, the other 3 that I've listened to, or that I've read or listened to in the series, in the universe rather, and in the More Than Human universe. I can't talk today. And so I am excited to read this next one, and it's super short. It's short stories, which makes it really easy, but then it's also, it doesn't have page numbers on this one. It's very, very skinny, probably under 200 pages. And so I want to get to this one, and since this is one of the authors that I want to have an author interview with as soon as I finish this book, and so that's why I'm kind of prioritizing it a little bit more than Rada. I want to listen to another or read another Eric Larson book. So the first one that I read was The Devil in the White City, and that was my favorite book of the year that I read it. And so I want to read another one. I think Isaac's Storm is the title of one of them, and so maybe that one. I know he's got a couple other ones, and so I want to read another one of his books because I really, really love The Devil in the White City, and so I'm hoping to do the same with some of his other books, but I need to read them. Secret Project number 5 by Sanderson. I don't have my physical copy yet. I know other people, by the time I'm making this video, and definitely by the time you're seeing this video, other people have been getting their boxes already with the physical book, and I have not gotten mine. I haven't even gotten my shipping notification yet as of the time of filming this. So hopefully that'll come pretty soon, but I do have the audiobook, and so I will be listening to the audiobook on that. Actually, at the time of filming, I'm currently listening to the audiobook on that one, but I want to continue with that one and get through that one so that I can have that one read. And after that, I will probably be taking a break from Sanderson for a little while, quite a while actually, because I don't have anything else that's pressing that I need to read from him or new or anything like that. There is his science fiction collection coming out the end of this year, but I'm not so worried about that one. And I've just been reading a lot of Sanderson in the past couple of years, and so I'm a little bit burnt out on him. So I'm hoping to set him aside, read some other things, and come back to him once he gets done with, or once he's finishing up Mistborn Era 3. Then I can come back to those books and read those as they start releasing again. And then I have a couple books that I need to finish, and those are also kind of priority reads to me because they've been sitting on my floor trying to be read, or having small portions of them read for way too long now, and I need to actually just sit down and read them, or rather sit down and finish them. And so those are Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, Pearl and Sir Orfeo by J.R.R. Tolkien. I've completely read Sir Gawain and the Green Knight several times, and I need to read Pearl and Sir Orfeo, and so I need to go through those, and I want to go through those, and it won't take me terribly long to get through them. I just need to actually sit down and read them. They are poetry, which makes it a little bit more difficult because I'm not so used to reading epic poems like this, but it's still fun and I enjoy it, and so I need to get back into it. The other one I have is Rackety Tam by Brian Jakes. I need to finish up this one. I'm over about 3/4 of the way through this one, and so I need to just finish it up so I can get my review of it out and move on to another book and just not have it sitting there being read anymore. So both of those I need to finish up, and those are the last ones that I have on this list. Really quickly, I'm going to go through. So I talked about how I want to do one classic, one sent to me, one fantasy, and one sci-fi each month, and so I'll quickly go through the ones that I specifically put on this list to meet those requirements. And so one classic would be A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. One sent to me would either be Rada by Tracy M. Joyce or More Than Legends by J.R. Carroll. Both of those were sent to me by the authors, and so I need to get to both of those, or at least one of them. Then I have one fantasy. Both of those meet the requirement for fantasy, but let's see, what do I have on here? So I've got Peter Pan is fantasy, Last Sword of Power is fantasy, The Fall of Arthur, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, which is reread, so I wouldn't count it anyways, but Rada, More Than Legends, or Secret Project number 5. So there's many options for meeting that requirement, or that goal. And then one sci-fi would be Eversion, is the one that I have on there by, I keep trying to say Blake Crouch, but Eversion by Alistair Reynolds. And so if I can read all those books, undoubtedly I'll find a different sci-fi if Eversion doesn't come through quickly. I've also got the third Space Trilogy book by Lewis that's on hold, and so one of those should come through relatively quickly. Both are sci-fi, so either one will match or will meet that requirement. And just they're ideas of books that could meet those requirements, but they don't have to. So anyways, that is my Q3 MBR might be read list, and so hopefully I can make some good progress on these. I'm trying to really prioritize books that I have on my shelves so that my read to unread ratio goes down, because I need to have a lot more read books than I have unread. So anyways, that is my Q3 MBR. Thank you guys for watching an Erudite Adventure. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys for sticking with me through the short break that I had to take, and we hopefully will be back to regularly scheduled programming on Monday and Thursday, and we will see you guys again soon. Stay well.